look at Bonta got his rocking chair. Look, how you feeling, big fella?
Ain't nobody worried about that hat. Ain't nobody worried about that hat, man. Ain't nobody worried about that.
Let's welcome in the morning roast. Let's welcome in the TV star, Bonta Hill, kind enough to join us. Butcher Boy, Joe Shasky. Let's get started. The morning roasters, they're here. They're in the chat. They're ready to see this. Butch, I'm starting with you.
Let's go.
Butch, you cut a promo the other day.
Yeah.
You were Hulkamania circa 1988 the other day. After, I don't know if you saw this. We wrapped up our conversation on Tuesday. I was like, hey, Butch was a little bit more reserved than I thought. Like, yeah, Butch was kind of reserved. And then the next day, let me tell you something, brother. Kevin Durant, Harrison Barnes. I was like, hey, Butch, we got home and away, Butcher Boy. Road. I'm gonna lay out if you want to cut another promo on us.
Well, here's the deal. You guys got to understand. We've been through this terrain before. All right. So I know on a Tuesday of playoff week, you got to reserve yourself. There's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then we slowly ramp up, getting to Thursday and Friday, where I bring my A game. I'm not trying to get all worked up in pre-games, my friend. That's for the A side. The B side is the diss track. That's where Hit 'Em Up was. Don't forget, the Tupac Hit 'Em Up was not on the actual album. It was on the CD single B side. So here's my Hit 'Em Up. Let's go. What do you want to know?
Yeah, don't ever forget though. That was on the B side of How Do You Want It?
Exactly.
Smash record.
And look, here's the other thing. That's what the old guys got to do. The young guys, we just keep going. We just keep going.
Yeah.
The old G's, I gotta pace myself. That's what's gonna happen in this series. You gotta pace yourselves a little bit. Kings just gonna keep running and running and running and scoring and scoring and scoring. And by the time game 5 roll around, them legs gonna be heavy. Them Andrew Wiggins lungs, they're gonna be on fire because he's like, man, I didn't prepare for this. I'm telling you, these young boys about to do work here in Sacramento.
Is there a question in there, or is that just a statement? Just making sure.
It's a spoiler. It's not a prediction. It's a spoiler.
A spoiler. Interesting. I just have one question for the two of you. What the hell are you going to do to stop Steph Curry? Like, honestly, you guys be like, oh, what are the X's and O's to stop the Kings? What are the X's and O's to stop the Kings? Oh, the bench. Oh, this. Oh, Sabonis. The crowd. Cowbells. How are you stopping 30? How are you stopping 30? This guy had one of the great signature games in NBA history. Game 4, dropping 40-plus points in the Boston Garden, the TD Garden, as I was sitting there alone with nothing but Sean Sully's from South Boston talking smack to Draymond Green, and with zero help from Draymond Green and very minimal help from the rest of the team. Jordan Poole was on a milk carton. Steph Curry put down one of the top 5 iconic performances on the road in finals history. 4-time champion, 2-time MVP. And this man is just getting started. How are you stopping him, you two?
You're not stopping Steph Curry.
Yeah.
You're not stopping Steph Curry. He's great. He's one of the greatest players to ever do it. He's top 10 on my list. You're not stopping Steph Curry. Steph Curry can't score 120 though. He gonna do his thing. The one thing you guys talked about it during the week, going back looking at some of these games, and I agree with you. It was a long time ago. I think both teams are different. They got different personnel, all this other stuff. The one thing that stuck out to me, that second game, the 116-113 game where the Warriors won. Steph Curry went crazy. What do you have, 47?
28 in the first half, KC, 47 overall. 47 but who's checking?
47, 8, and 8 to be exact.
Wiggins. Bonta chiming in.
Welcome to the conversation.
Chiming in. Yeah, Bonta chiming in.
Hey, hold on. I just had to make sure Frisco Shasky was in the building because my partner in crime has set the tone today. And like a proud brother, I am just sitting back, relaxed, and saying, oh, my Lord, Shasky's in the building. He said, to hell with the golf game today. I got to pause for KC and D-Lo. And so all I'm doing is wearing my championship hat because I know you guys don't know about wearing these things or opening up boxes. This is what we play for. This is what we do.
And speaking of proud brothers, can I say we're just proud of you little bros, man. You guys have done a great job in San Francisco. You guys have done a great job with the morning roast, man. I know it got tiring with Danny in San Francisco coming in saying, I need you to watch this show I put together in Sacramento, and I need you to study them and watch them. Hey, we love you guys, man. We are proud of you.
Hey, you know what, Bonta? What's funny is that Nas had a great little line, and Jay-Z said, you made it a hot line, I made it a hot song. So that's what we did. We saw a little bit of what you did. We repurposed it and repackaged it and put it on the big boy market.
You know, it's like sending off Vivek Ranadive to Sacramento, right? He got a little glimpse of what was going on with the Golden State Warriors.
Exactly.
Quietly, Your boy Bonta is the architect of D-Lo and KC. I mean, come on, pulling the strings behind you. You know what I'm saying? I said we need somebody up there in Northern California. Sacramento needs some new blood. Sacramento needs some new life. They need some flavor. They need some culture. Hey, Danny Fry, how about this for your assist? So really, Danny Fry need to give me some of them checks that he's been cashing up there.
Suge Knight, Bonta?
Boy, no. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, man, hey.
You know, we know what it is. Boy.
Shout out to Bonta. Shout out to Bonta. I'm not going to dispute that ever. All right. Shout out to Bonta. But we out here doing what we do, man. You know what I'm saying? When I say came in with my style, now I fathered you. All right. That's what we're doing out here. You know what I mean? But look, I want to ask you guys about this game. I'm going to tell you guys about this game and Steph Curry. He asked how we stop Steph Curry. You don't stop Steph Curry. Steph Curry going to eat. I'm not disputing that. He's going to eat. But one thing about that, Mike Brown ain't just going to let him walk around and do whatever. Mike Brown going to throw a couple people at him, and those other people going to have to step up. The other thing about it, I talk about that second game of the season or the second game of their series this year. I need to see that 4 times because it's not about Steph Curry. If those others are anemic as they were in that game, you're not beating the Kings 4 times. Steph Curry can do great things, but if the other guys, Clay was anemic in that game, Dre was anemic in that game, if the others are anemic, that's not the formula to success. Just saying, Steph, go off and do this all the time. They're going to wear him out.
Look, Casey, what you fail to realize, Casey, that was so long ago. Klay Thompson, and he'll admit it, he was buttercups in the first 2 months of the season. He was chucking. He was awful. He used the first month of the season to get in shape for the Warriors Invitational, which starts tomorrow night at 5:30 p.m. at Golden One Center. So that Klay Thompson, you will not see that same guy. You're going to see a different version, the one who shot over 41% from the three-point line since the calendar flipped to 2023. All right, that's another thing. Draymond was still trying to find himself after what happened in training camp. You know, he didn't have that voice. Now we know what happened in training camp, but he had, he was on ice a little bit. Now Andrew Wiggins in that fourth quarter, I remember him going 5 for 5 for 15 points. He got real comfortable in that second game. So, this is a different beast. Don't expect Klay Thompson to be anemic. I mean, we can talk about the past when we want this year. Klay Thompson has been dynamite the last 3 months. So, KC, throw that game out the window. If you're going off of that game, you can throw that one out the window. But
okay, so let's go with this thing because I know you were watching Bonta when I threw this at you the other day, and Butch, I want to hear your thoughts on this too. No 16 years. No failure of a franchise. No Sacramento has bad weed or whatever y'all were talking about on 95.7.
I was wrong, D-Lo.
Be on the lookout. Be on the lookout for your IG mentions. I got something coming for you tonight, Bonta. But why is this Warriors team better than this Sacramento Kings team?
Well,
I'll tell you. I was going to go in there. All right. So I just look at, they've got all the pieces, the Warriors do, of what you look for in the playoffs. I mean, obviously you have to have star power. Everyone knows that. Stars do matter in the playoffs. But do you have the glue guys? Do you have the extra guys who truly understand what their role is? Well, we know that Draymond Green, I know KC thinks that he's not this, he's not that. He might be one of the greatest role players of all time, right? He's obviously a great defender. Kevon Looney, one of the best glue players in the league right now, especially when it comes to pick and roll defense in the fourth quarter of playoff games, being able to switch at the point of attack. Very underrated. Do you have defensive stoppers who could play in the dunker spot and man up 36 feet if need be? Gary Payton Jr., Dante DiVincenzo. I know it didn't work out with the Kings with Dante DiVincenzo. He has been amazing with the Golden State Warriors. Ball movement as a facilitator, knocking down threes because he worked on his three-point shot. Look at the statistics. He is excellent as a glue player. Andrew Wiggins was the best two-way player in all of basketball for the final 2 months of the season last year. Did you see what happened to Jason Tatum after game one? He couldn't dribble left. Did you see what happened with Jaylen Brown? Pickpocket left and right. They need those guys. And then you add in Klay Thompson, who he will have at minimum one signature game per series. Go back to the Memphis series, Boston. Before that, go against Denver. He always shows up in the playoffs. This team is battle-tested. They've got all the pieces, and I haven't even referenced what I believe to be one of the best scorers in the NBA off the bench, Jordan Poole. We're not even getting to Kuminga. They're 8-9 deep. You're not going to go 11. You're not going to go 12. You really need 5 and a couple others. That's what the playoffs boils down to. You've got too many question marks in those top 5.
Well, D-Lo, I'll say this.
Oh, hell no.
Keegan Murray's a rookie.
Here, let me say this. let me say this, because I watch you guys from afar. You check my receipts about the Kings. I said early on, man, this Kings team is fun to watch. Damn, they move the ball. Dang, they could score. Whoa, they got pieces. So right now, were the Kings better than the Warriors in the regular season? Absolutely, by far. They played a better brand of basketball. They seem more connected. Forget the defense. Nobody plays defense in the NBA. That's been the most overrated thing talked about all week long. Numbers are up offensively all across the league. Everybody's bombing threes or whatnot. But I will say this about the Warriors. Now that they have Gary Payton II back, those players individually are much better than last year. Jordan Poole's better this year than last year. He's adapted having all eyes him in a half court. Kuminga didn't even play last postseason. He's a lot better than last year. Kevon Looney, what can we say? Should be the most improved player in the NBA, led the league in offensive rebounding. Looney's better. Steph Curry averaged 36 and 6, and everybody's just kind of yawning, saying, yeah, whatever. Like, he had a historical season. Klay Thompson is much farther along than he was at this point last season. So individually, they are better. We've just been waiting for them to put together as a team, and now that this whole now you got Wiggins back. Now you got Gary Payton II back in the fold. And now that top 7, top 8 is a lot better. And quietly, without even playing their A game, they won 8 of their last 10 coming into the playoffs. So you're catching a team that's starting to fill itself a little bit. Oh, and you bet not lose a game at Golden One, because we know what happens at Chase Center. We know what happens at the dental office, Casey.
Look,
I got Vicodins ready for you, Casey.
See, there you go with the Vicodin again, man. See, there you go with the Vicodin again.
Root canals, baby. Root canals.
I'm gonna tell you what this sounds like. Jesse, I'm gonna tell you what it sounds like. Dame, I'm gonna tell you what it sounds like. You know what it sounds like to me? It sounds like the 2022 Tampa Bay Buccaneers. When all these things were going on, like, hey, if they just get healthy in time, you got Tom Brady. Hell, we can go to the 2021 Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, you saw what he did last year, right, Tom? Tom won that Super Bowl last year. He can't be doubted. He can't ever be doubted. When all year long, they were telling us who they were. And nobody wanted to listen, because we give these great teams, rightfully so, the benefit of the doubt. But how many times have we watched sports and we talk about, you know what? They told us who they were all year, but we didn't want to listen. I think that's who the Warriors are this year. They're not bums, they're not bad, but they're not that.
Kenny, let me jump in
this year. They're telling us who they are, and we don't want to recognize it.
Here's why the Tom Brady comparison doesn't correlate. Tom Brady was afraid to take hits. Have you watched Steph Curry? He's as good as ever. And he got hurt twice this year. And his numbers, his efficiency, way better than last year. Last year, heading into the playoffs, he didn't play for a month. And if you remember, he broke the 3-point record. And then he kind of was off for like a month and a half. Yep. His shooting was not the same. He has been dynamic. Now, is there a once every 5 or 6 games a clunker? Of course, every player has those. But he is so much more efficient this year and better this year than he was last year heading into the playoffs. He came off the bench to start the playoffs last year.
I'm going back to the Bucs the year before. I'm talking about after the championship and won a championship. It was like, don't ever doubt Tom Brady again. Don't ever doubt him again. But we saw him all year. That defense wasn't good enough. We saw them, they just weren't good enough. They really just couldn't get it going. But we went into the playoffs. Don't doubt this man. He had another MVP caliber season, Tom Brady did. He wasn't a bum. He wasn't a bum that year. But the team told us who they were all year long. And when we got into the playoffs, they were who the hell we thought they were. And I think that's what the Warriors are going to be.
KC, this ain't football. This ain't football.
It ain't football. But I'll tell you this right now. They didn't show us who they are all year long.
But they didn't have Wiggins for 47 games. GP2 was just acquired. No, seriously. Like, Dante DiVincenzo started like 60 games for this team this year. Like, Jordan Poole in and out of the lineup because of who they didn't have. Like, more team than any other team in the history of sports because of the 73. Because of everyone like yourself invalidating 73 wins because you didn't win a championship. This team at this age, at this life cycle, the regular season is irrelevant. It's irrelevant. Now, for you guys, and I mean no disrespect, I totally get why I would be pointing to the regular season and saying, look, we did this, we played here, look how good we played there. That makes total sense. For this organization with a 35-year-old Curry and a 33-year-old Clay and a 33-year-old Draymond Green and Wiggins missing 47 games, none of that stuff applies.
Nobody is invalidating your 73 wins, first of all. And second of all, I feel like I keep hearing references to Jordan Poole did this last year and Clay did this last year.
He was ready
to
run that boy
Jordan Poole had a great year.
Oh, no, we discussed Clay this year.
Now?
You know?
Like,
Clay Thompson, you look at his January, February, and
He
March.
carried them for 2.5 months.
I know. I'm not going to get into it, but people will take away his 4 best games in the month of March. We'll take away his 4 worst games. Clay Thompson's been great. Yeah, well, I talked to my boy about that. We had the pep talk about that, saying don't be stealing material from a guy who's a contrarian and bringing it on this show. We're supposed to rock with Clay, and Clay hears all the slander. Jordan Poole this year, as a starter, averaged 25 points a game. All right, now the bench split thing, it was weird, right? But now he's locked in. He's coming off the bench. And I think it's key for him in this series, knowing that, look, both teams don't have any rim protection. We all know that. Teams are going to get to the cup at will. But Jordan Poole's ability to get to the free throw line will be huge. Can he get some bonus in the foul trouble? Can he get some of those wing players in the foul trouble and really disrupt the rotations of Mike Brown? I'm looking forward to that. Klay Thompson, Kevin Huerter, Klay Thompson, people were trying to make the comparison. Come on, man. Now, that's disrespectful. We're talking about a Hall of Famer and a dude named Red Velvet. Come on, man. Let's go. Let's stop playing.
I mean,
first of all, his name is Kevin Huerter.
Yeah, his name is Kevin Huerter, and we call him Kayvon. We don't call him Red Velvet.
Yeah, we don't call him Red
Velvet.
Velvet.
He Kayvon. Second of all, that's damn near is disrespectful. It's saying Domantas Sabonis is getting stopped by some Windex guy who's a very good player. Domantas Sabonis is an all-NBA center. Domantas Sabonis is an all-NBA center
because he cleans up the glass.
He ain't cleaning it up as well as Domantas, the league leader in rebounders. That's Mr. Windex. Mr. Windex.
Let me ask you another. Let me point out two things, because I actually mentioned this on your show too, and let's just provide complete context, because I mentioned to both of you guys how it bothered me the way that the Kings played the last few games, and I saw what the Warriors did. They're 8-10. Let's just mention, just for fun, they beat Houston, they beat Dallas, they beat Philadelphia, they lost to Minnesota, they beat New Orleans, they beat San Antonio. They lost to Denver. They beat Oklahoma City. They beat Sacramento, and we know what that game was. And they beat Portland. So there's the context to the last 10 games of the season. Two, listening to Butch a minute ago, from hey, we're just Kings fans, man. We're just working off the regular season. You tell me. It sounds like you guys are trying to figure a lot out going into this postseason.
Oh, that's undoubted.
You're talking about.
I don't deny that.
Andrew Wiggins and Dante DiVincenzo. It sounds like you're going to work it out now.
Hey, last year, for context, Draymond Green came back in the first 6 games. All right, he had the back injury, worked himself back. He came back. Steph was out the last 18 games of the regular season,
a month and a half.
But so they go 5-0. They lose a tough game to Phoenix. Then they go 5-0. Clay gets hot. Pool's rolling. And Steph Curry says, we had no idea what Steph was going to look like. We had no idea if he was going to play the first few games in that first round series. Steph, like the leader he is, I'll come off the bench. Don't worry. I'll be off the bench and I'll be ready to go. And he came off the bench in games 1 and 2 and played a combined 43 minutes. Now, he was efficient, but we didn't know what they were going to look like. Mully talked about it all the time on TV, going, if they make the finals, you know how miraculous this would be without them knowing what Curry's going to look like, without knowing what the rotation is going to look like. And not to mention, Otto Porter Jr. was awful the last 3 months of the season. Awful. You made like 5 threes in an 8-week span. So it's kind of the same thing that we're going through this season, not knowing about Andrew Wiggins, but we do know this. He's not coming back off of injury. He's coming back off of personal stuff, and now he's smiling ear to ear, knowing that right adductor is completely healed. Everything is healed. He's ready to roll. So we're used to this. We're used to chaotic atmosphere. We kind of work in chaos down here in the Bay Area. We're organized chaos, that is. And so I expect them to be fine once it tips off tomorrow.
Guys, let me ask you both this. Of all the teams that deserve benefit of doubt to put this thing together at the right time, haven't they earned it?
Well, yeah, they got it last year. I gave them the benefit of it. Like, you're just going to keep doing this year after year after year?
We did this with the Yankees. We do this with the Chiefs, with Patrick Mahomes. We did it with Brady for years. We did it with the Spurs forever. Like, you've earned it.
That's my whole point. People said it wasn't relevant. Brady just lost twice. Yes.
And yet you still have the fear of God in you. In the fourth quarter against the Rams, when they played god-awful, and he was one pass away from beating the Rams, you were scared. Everyone was.
He ain't doing it every year. He ain't doing it. That's the whole point. Y'all bring up my exact point. He ain't doing it every year. We can be fearful. We can be respectful. We can get benefit of the doubt. At some point, it ends, and it's ending this year for the Warriors.
Let me ask you a question. You could be honest. You're not on the flagship station today. You're down here with D'Lo and KC on ESPN 1320. This thing has to end at some point. And you've got the situation with Bob Myers. You got the situation with Draymond Green. You got all of these different things circulating around this team. Is it just Sacramento that you're like, oh, this is irrelevant? Or you think this team can again win an NBA championship?
Damian, I'll let Bonta get in after me because one guy's essentially Mr. Warrior, the other guy's the biggest hater. But I'm gonna tell you right now, I am going to be in denial till the very end. Imagine Joe Pesci walking in thinking he's going to be a made man and then getting popped in the back of the head. That's how this thing's going to end. I will be in full denial until the second it's over. Because you know why? Because Steph Curry is the Joe Montana of his sport. I am not going to doubt the greatest winner, the greatest teammate, and the greatest player I've ever had an opportunity to see start to finish of his career. And that includes Barry Bonds.
They took boy Joe out too with a sack. They took that boy Joe out in 90. It happens.
Oh yeah, Leonard Marshall. It's gonna happen one day. But here's the deal: until it does, I'm going to ride with number 30.
Exactly.
I'm going to ride with 23. I'm going to ride with 11 because I saw the will to win in Game 6 against Memphis. A trip to Memphis for a Game 7 was on the line. They were playing like crap. And then I saw Loon Dog and Wiggins play grown man basketball. I saw this team out rebound the Grizzlies, the more physical Grizzlies, 70-44 in a gotta have it game at Chase Center. So the will to win from these dudes gets so underrated. This human element of their passion, want to continue to raise banners. The fact that they haven't lost the Western Conference Series under Steve Kerr doesn't mean something to Sacramento. I think y'all just going to enter the playoffs like, oh, the Warriors, we about to slap the champs like to beat them up all day long. Nah, man, it's not happening like that. You guys had a cute year. I hate that we had to play y'all in the first round. I wanted to see y'all in the second round. I wanted to see you in the conference finals. But you know what? It is what it is. We'll come back next season, and these games will be on TNT. At least we got that for you. You guys, after the Warriors back you guys up in 6, these games will be on ESPN next year. It'll be on national television. They'll all talk about the rivalry. And you know what? We can all sit here as Fred say, you know what? We created the rivalry. It's us 4. We started to smoke.
We did.
We turned it up a notch here in Northern California.
Hey.
But the cute story ends in a week and a half.
Hey, guys, like my man Bonta and I were talking about today, you guys can light the beam. And it's great. I'm glad you guys are doing it. It is really awesome. I'm not going to lie. We're smoking Bleezies and Heeman cigars come June, all right? That's how we roll, Mac Drag.
And we're chasing rings. By the way, D-Lo, I know you got something for me. I want to apologize to the city of Sacramento. I told the story on the roast earlier today. I was wrong in saying Sacramento's got that boo bammer bam, that boo wham, bammer weed, whatever it is. I was on the way to Tahoe back in 2013-14. They had a mobile service up there in Sacramento who dropped something off at 7 in the morning off the freeway. And I said, man, this is some gasoline. So Sacramento, I apologize.
Shout out to my girl Maisha.
I know y'all.
Shout out to my girl Maisha because that's Crystal Nugs. Crystal Nugs heard this conversation. And said, whoa.
I'll talk to you after the season, Crystal Nugs.
I got you. I told you. I got an IG coming your way very, very soon. We can even get it delivered at your little presidential suite at the Sawyer that the NBC studio is going to put you up in. Big television star Bonta Hill. You don't even have to come out and deal with us common folk, man. Me, Butch, KC, we'll be out. We'll be grabbing some food, but we'll make sure everything.
No. D-Lo, you wear Louis Vuittons, dude, on a Tuesday morning. So
you goddamn right I do.
I ain't got no green and red on my shoes right now. I ain't got no green and red on my shoes.
Hey, KC, the two of you, I will tell you this right now. There is not a show in America on sports that takes as long as the two of you do to get done looking at the mirror to get ready for the day.
Nope.
And I mean that with all love. Because I'm hella jealous.
I saw the way D-Lo waved at the Golden Center Center crowd, and I said, "Oh,
that is a fact." He did have the wave,
man. The way he waved, I said, "Man, this dude must be mayor of Sacramento."
Presidential,
straight
very presidential.
That really happened. The point. Don't forget the point. There was a point.
The point too.
Well, the point is what I call the unofficial head nod. Like, I see you, but I'm not going all the way over to pay homage. You need to come to me to pay homage.
Are you 3 finished?
I told them this morning. This is way better than talking about Herb Jones for a week.
Oh my gosh.
With all due respect.
And Zion looking like a watermelon. He looks so big. I can't get over. I go, bro, stop. What? How did he lose all of his explosion? He's like 23. What has happened to Zion?
No, this is awesome. The battle of I-80. I know we've gone back and forth. It's been heated. Twitter's up going crazy. But I told somebody, they called the show talking smack about D'Lo and Casey. And I said, look, man, these are the unofficial voices of the Sacramento Kings. They got the streets hot in Sacramento. Those are my guys. And it's been a lot of fun. The I-80 Classic. Look, we're going to continue to talk that talk. It's not going to stop. The friendly banter stops at 5:30 p.m. tomorrow. And I heard Draper yesterday, and no, Draper, you ain't getting the big studio all series long. That's for show. You're going to be in that
I like Draper.
Studio
I like Draper.
And I love Kyle Draper.
He got mad swag. I like Draper.
Shasky, but he talk about we want to be the Lakers and we want to be the Celtics. Hold on. We worth $7 billion down here in the Bay Area. We're the number one valued NBA franchise. The Boston Celtics want to be us now. The Celtics won one title since 1986. All right? No one title since 1986. All them betters from 1940 and 1950 got so much damn dust on them. Stop it. We are the NBA. When Curry's on the floor, we know what the ratings do. We know what business does when Curry's in the building.
That's facts.
Business is booming. All right? We got y'all asses on ABC because of Steph Curry, Draymond Green, and Klay Thompson. All right? So thank us later when Sacramento gets that love and they show the blimp coverage of the Days Inn Hotel in the Doubletree down the street.
That's how you feel?
Thank us for that.
That's how you feel? It's a Holiday Inn, by the way. It's not a Days Inn, okay?
Thank you, Chingy.
First of all, it's pool top of the Sawyer is what you're going to see. And then once we get to about 8 o'clock, you'll see a nice bright purple beam shining into the sky on Saturday night.
Hey, David, these boys don't know what's coming, man. They don't know what's coming.
Well, like Fury Styles said, they're going to learn.
They don't know what's coming,
man.
They don't know, man. They just don't know what's coming, man. You see this thing right here? Boy, oh boy. Y'all about to see that thing up close and personal, baby.
All right. I'm gonna be full disclosure as we've been talking all this smack, being super arrogant. If there were two things I was worried about when it comes to the Warriors, shot selection and turnovers. There's no question about it. Like when they get into certain modes, shot selection is an issue and turnovers. What are two things? And one of you could take this. What are two things that worry you about your Kings? No one knows them better than the two of you.
Going cold. One. And man, I brought this up earlier in the week, and it still kind of sits in my head. Like I'm fearful of slow starts in games. There's plenty of games where you'll see one missed three, two missed threes, three missed threes. Like they start the game on heat check sometimes. Like 8 possessions, there'll be 6 or 7 threes. If that's in the flow of the offense, then cool. Like they're gonna do that. I have a tremendous amount of respect for Domantas Sabonis. I think Domantas Sabonis is an incredible player. I think they should start trying to see your boy Kevon Looney, Draymond Green, finding out what Steve Kerr's game plan is against him. And then I think so much else falls into place there. But the start is what I'm worried about, and then just cold streaks is what I'm worried about, because the Warriors will kill you if you go cold.
And I'm worried about the aspect of defending the 3-point shot against Splash Brothers and Jordan Poole. Like that's not a good recipe. You got to figure that out. You know what I mean? You've got to be able to defend the 3-point shot better. You've got to make, at the very least, they're going to hit some. They're going to hit a lot. You got to make them work. And sometimes Kings don't even make these guys work when shooting the 3-point shot. And that's a recipe.
Well, I'll say this for the Warriors too. I'll add to what Shasky said about the turnovers. That's obvious, but defending without fouling has been a major issue for the Warriors this season. And the Kings are third. I see they're third in the league when it comes to free throws made, and they're 7th in attempts. So they'll get to that free throw line, set their defense up, and that concerns me. Draymond Green, Kevon Looney cannot get into foul trouble in this series against Domantas Sabonis. JaMychal Green, I don't like the matchup against Sabonis when it comes to JaMychal Green. And I think Kuminga, I love Kuminga. I really love his prospects of becoming a superstar, but asking him to defend Sabonis in a situation like this is asking for an L. So defending without fouling and keeping your main guys out of foul trouble is going to go a long way towards the Warriors' victory. They get in foul trouble, this could be a long series, and we be talking something different, Butch, in a couple weeks, man. It might be full-fledged Giants baseball.
I don't want that. I don't want that. All
Yeah,
right,
nobody wants that.
KC,
Nobody wants that.
Yeah, I know you're a diehard Niner fan like myself. And so, like, I remember that 2011, a.k.a. January 2012 49er game where it felt like this long drought for the playoffs. And then finally, boom, we have this epic game. And, like, you could feel it in the parking lot walking in the whole week leading up to it. This is the biggest game in Sacramento since...
Oh, Jesus.
Well, look, biggest game inside. It's got to be. It's got to
the
be
Lakers series.
Lakers series,
Game
7.
The year after that.
Okay.
They had the game 6 with the Timberwolves in 2004, where Anthony Miller gave that elbow to KG, got kicked out.
Miami.
Yeah, that was the last grasp trying to hold on to
the San Antonio series. We kind of knew.
Yeah,
like everyone, it's like this team, like that Minnesota series. We thought this team we could still win a championship. The San Antonio, we knew that team wasn't going to win.
We talking 19, 20 years.
Yeah,
wow.
Right.
That long.
Yeah. I mean, y'all know what it's been up here, man. It's been tough.
I know, but when you say it, like then you really start to realize how long it's been.
That's why there's.
I remember that.
There's rallies downtown. Y'all hold championship rallies. We're holding a rally today.
Yeah.
Like this fan base, this fan base has waited for this moment for so long. That they're that's why there's 600 plus people watching this show. Who knows, however many listening on the radio. It's why people are headed downtown now to get ready to just hang out and be together, because we didn't think this was coming. And I don't mean this year. I mean, Kings fans never thought this moment was going to happen again.
Seriously,
it was tough.
Boys, I got to make the pilgrimage so I can get me some Jim Boy's tacos. I tell this to Casey every time. He laced me up on the Jim Boy's. Oh, my God. The Jim Boy's goes so hard. My sister moved out to Roseville, and every single time I stop off to get them, but it's getting pricier, number one.
Well,
and I get those.
That's the only bad thing is Jim Boy's is only slightly cheaper than tickets to game 1 of the series. That's the only thing.
Jim Boy's off.
I remember when it used to be $189 for 2 tacos and a soda, and now I gotta take out a student loan to get some Jim Boy's.
You and Butch can go get Jim Boy's. Me and Bonta are going to the steakhouse. We're going to the steakhouse and drinking old fashioned.
I mean, come on now.
D-Lo, you speak my language.
Smoking old fashioned.
I do want some squeeze in burger though. That cheese on the crust on the outside, man. That is nice. That's a nice burger.
I'm trying to get an old fashioned and a steak to Bonta, and he wants a cheeseburger. All right. It's like that episode of the Cosby Show where who tried to take him to a nice dinner, and all they wanted was McDonald's. Man, you guys gave us like 45 minutes, man. We appreciate you so much. Thanks for coming to hang out with us. Thanks for bringing your crew with us. We're excited for this series. It's gonna be it's going to be a blast, man. And we all know the league is obviously invested in this series, which is why they're on ABC tomorrow night. It's why they're on TNT twice. It's why these first 4 games are bookend on ABC.
They got, to be honest with you, not to bring up anything, they got the Lakers Sunday spot. I always thought the game 4 that's going to be on Sunday. I always thought Sunday is the Lakers spot. Warriors Kings got the Sunday spot.
That's crazy.
Don't you guys think, like, of all the players that could get elevated, me and him were talking about this on our show, of all the players to be elevated from this series being on one of those platforms, I feel like De'Aaron Fox is the guy who has the most to gain. No matter what it looks like, I feel like his profile will be boosted to heights that he's never been at.
Well, and he's a star. He's a flat-out superstar.
I agree.
I mean, De'Aaron Fox, I've loved him. I'm so glad you guys didn't trade him. I know the Halliburton trade, a lot of people were flustered with that one, but Sabonis came back, and it's been a nice return with a trip to Salt Lake City to the All-Star game. But De'Aaron Fox is the best point guard nobody knows about. He scares me, legit scares me. Like, because I know in the fourth quarter, I don't need to see the clutch numbers. I saw what he did in college. I saw what he did early on with you guys in Sacramento, and he just wants it. He's a cold-blooded killer. But I thought Butch was going to go Harrison Barnes. The Harrison Barnes factor of a team where basically he said nah to the $64 million, and the Warriors said, cool, we'll just call KD after we lose in Game 7 to the Cleveland Cavaliers. It basically dumped him. Draymond talked about not being invited to his wedding, saying, I don't know if HB Rocks will be no more. We thought he was going to be the stud to help elevate him. We thought he was going to be the third brother alongside Klay.
They tanked to get him.
And he wasn't. Exactly. And so what Harrison Barnes can do in this series, he can erase 5 of 32 in the last 3 games. He will be a god. in Sacramento if they pull off this series against the Golden State Warriors. And I know he's going to feel great about that.
I want to mention just one quick thing because I'm so happy you guys brought that up because we're going to talk more about this later. But when you look back, you go back to that bubble year and you look at what Donovan Mitchell did in that bubble postseason. You look at what Jamal Murray did in that postseason. You look at what Ja Morant did in his first postseason. There have been a lot of what ifs thrown around in this series. There are a lot of what ifs thrown around in the Western Conference period. I haven't heard one person say what Bonta and Butch just alluded to is, what if De'Aaron hits that spot that those guys hit? What's this series look like? What's that playoff? What's this playoff run look like? But we'll talk about that here as we roll along. We'll let you guys go, man. Again, we appreciate you so much. We'll be locked in on Monday, hearing your recap of game 1 and gearing up for game 2. And I'm sure we'll talk quite a bit before this series is over.
Absolutely, man. You guys are the real ones, man. The voice of the Kings. We love you guys up there. ESPN 1320. But it's on, baby. Gloves are off now. Let's go. I'm talking to you, KC. It's all love. After 2 weeks, we'll be best friends again. But for the next 2 weeks, y'all on team mute.
we'll see y'all on social media. How about that? We'll see. Butch, I'm quote tweeting everything.
I know. Trust me. I'm well aware.
Y'all got Bobby Fitzgerald up there, man. He got
get your man. Get your man.
Come on. That's Fitz being Fitz. You know that. And I'm the homer.
We love you, fellas.
See you, boys.
All right, boys.
Keep killing it for the 916.
Yes, sir, man.